Hello, and welcome to the very first Jastalos University lecture. We here at Jastalos University are a collection of scholars, gays, and more scholars. And today, me, Professor James, I'm going to be talking to you about Five Nights at Freddy's. As you can see from this professionally photoshopped image, I am the lore expert. So, it's time to get started. So, our first question that we need to ask. What is a FNaF? I'll get to it, you impatient bitch. Let's talk about Scott Cawthon, specifically. The man behind the series. This is what he looks like. And now that's what he looks like doing a little spin. Isn't that silly? He is the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. He is an independent Christian game developer who got the idea for creating the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise after creating a game called Chipper and Sons Lumber Company, a game that was criticized for having lifeless robotic character models that scared the good Christian children into becoming bad Christian sinners. This game is responsible for so many sins. I won't say which, they are too graphic to discuss in this lecture. So he decided, if you guys think I'm too scary, I'll show you what scary is. And then he created one of the most viral hits of the 2010s. Five Nights at Freddy's. So, this lecture is going to be on the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, to tell the story that Scott Cawthon has crafted over the 6 years of Five Nights at Freddy's being an active game franchise. Now, before I start with that, I need to get you knowledgeable about all of the different games in the franchise. So we are going to go throughout each individual game and their individual stories, as the individual game stories aren't that important in the overall scheme of Five Nights at Freddy's, but they're still good for getting you acclimated to the series itself. So it's time to start with the first game. Fuck Night at Frederica's. Now, this is one of the greatest games of all time because it makes my ding-dong hard. And then there was a spin-off called Five Nights at Freddy's. When you guys laugh, I will be editing this lecture in Premiere. I will include breaks for laughter. Anyway, in Five Nights at Freddy's, you are a guy being dude, and you decide to take a job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria as a night guard. But, oh boy, there are animatronics there, and they want to stuff you inside of a suit because they think that you're an endoskeleton. Maybe they're not actually. They're actually possessed by ghosts. But basically, they're bad. They're bad murder robots. So you go through nights 1 through 5, then night 6, and then you get the ability in gameplay. I'm not going to talk about gameplay much, but this is the one time I think gameplay has a good implication on the story. You tamper with them, i.e. setting up a custom night where in-game you can change the animatronics AI aggressiveness level so that you can set the difficulty of how you want to play it, and then you get fired for tampering with the robots. Because what the fuck? Why would you mess with their AI? You're supposed to guard them, you dumb piece of shit. So after Five Nights at Freddy's 1 took off, there needed to be a sequel, because all video games have sequels. That's the rule. It's the law. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, you won't believe this. You're Guy being dude, and you got a shitty job. You're a night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And oh no, there are murder robots. 5 more of them. Plus this weird fucking puppet thing. We'll talk more about the puppet later. And during this time, a purple guy kills a kid, maybe. I don't know. LMAO. So after nights 1 through 5, you're like, dude, there's fucking evil murder robots. Can I please be moved to the day shift where they're not trying to murder everything? Okay. And then for night 6 and the custom night, you're just a new guy being a new dude. And then you survive the night, and then you get fired for being a stinky ass bitch. They give you a pink slip that specifically indicates odor. And then the bite of 87 happens. I don't know. LMAO. And then we have Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the end of the series, as was told by Scott. Now, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, one of the major differences is that you are going up against a singular animatronic. Springtrap. This is Springtrap. Say hello. Say hello to Springtrap, everybody. Okay. And I want you to notice his eyes. There's something special behind those eyes. A certain kind of insanity. Just Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So in Five Nights at yes, for those of you who do not know, that is Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. So in FNaF 3, you're just a guy being dude, and it's time to get a shitty job. But not at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, but at a place called Fazbear's Fright. You see, the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria name has been inextricably linked to child murder. For some reason. Who would have guessed? So they're like, you know what? Let's reboot this. But everyone already associates it with child murder, so let's make child murder a main part of the program. Let's make it a horror-themed attraction. And we even found one of the authentic animatronics. Isn't that great? Let's bring it into our store. But little did they know, plot twist, it was an evil animatronic. It's a shocking swerve that no one ever saw coming. So you play the game, you're playing against Springtrap, he's trying to murder you, and you're being haunted by the phantoms of Fazbear Past, and you do a bunch of obtuse shit to get the good ending. We'll talk about that later on. And then at the end of the game, your night guard says, fuck this shit, and then you torch the fucker to the ground. Hold on, it seems that we have a question from one in the audience. From Crab Gang Jock Boy with a C. Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Professor, but is the Fazbear Pizzeria pizza good? Well, it tastes fine. It's like, there's a pizza tier list. It's like Domino's tier, where you'll eat the pizza because it's surrounded by other things that you're more interested in. But yeah, it's kind of lame pizza. Oh, it appears that we might be getting another question. Let's take a moment. A question from thank you. That was not a question. That was Crab Gang Cop Killer telling me to be funnier. Fuck you, Crab Gang Cop Killer. And now, as we all know, Scott Cawthon announced Five Nights at Freddy's 3 to be the final chapter. So let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 4. A game which switches up. You are no longer just guy being a dude. You are a kid and you are scared. You're a little scared piss baby because you're home alone and you're having nightmares about murder robots trying to eat your pizzas and cheeseburgers. So after every night, this is the first Five Nights at Freddy's game to include cutscenes that actually tell like a cohesive story. Well, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 did it first, but that shit's all in the past. Those were all flashbacks. Now, this is right here, right now. Present moment, bitch. And these cutscenes, you're a kid, and you're about to have a birthday party in 5 days. And your birthday party is being held at Fredbear's Family Diner, the local pizzeria with special animatronics. But here's the thing, you're fucking terrified of these animatronics, and you don't want to do it. That's why you're seeing these fucking nightmares. So, the days pass by, and eventually, it's the birthday party at Fredbear's Family Diner. And your older brother slash bully comes up with the funniest fucking prank ever. Okay, guys, get this. So he's going to put your head in one of the animatronics' mouths, and then you're going to get fucking pwned. Ah, it's great. You die. What a fucking great prank. And so that ends the story of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. There's some weird shit about a magical doll that wants to put you back together or something. It doesn't fucking come up again. It's implied in the sister location that there was a walkie-talkie hidden in that doll. It's kind of stupid. Oh, it appears we have a question from Discord user, fucking Crab Gang leader. Uh, let's see. At Professor, does it say pwned when you die in the game? It doesn't, but it should. The only thing it says when you die in game is the sickening crunch of your bones being munched. So, after Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the final chapter, Scott decided to work on a spin-off game called FNaF World. That's non-canon and really shitty. It was so shitty that Scott decided to refund people and then release it for free. And yes, that is a picture of me. And this is a picture of me and Scott put together. Isn't she beautiful? I'd fuck me. Anyway, it appears we are getting another question. Okay, alright, I'll just move on to the next slide and then answer after this slide. So, it's time for FNAF Sister Location, because FNAF series, we're done with that. We already had the final chapter, but that doesn't mean we can't continue it, but with just like another story, because it's like an anthology. It's a horror series. It's common. Everybody loves Halloween 2. I think that's the one that did the anthology thing. Whatever one it did. So in Sister Location, you're just a guy being a dude, and you take a shit job at Circus Babies Rental and Entertainment, a place that for some goddamn reason decided to have animatronic robots that are seemingly self-aware, as they can feel pain. I don't know why the fuck they decided to do this. Oh, okay. I don't know why they fucking decided to, oh yeah, let's make robots that feel pain. That's how you get goddamn Skynet. But they did it anyway. And your job is to torture them so that they reset before every day. That will probably work out perfectly for you. Now, you have specific tasks each night. You are to perform maintenance on the four main animatronics at the location. You have Funtime Foxy, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Circus Baby. And there is a room within the sister location known as the scooping room. Now, this is a room that takes your insides and makes them outsides. They use it on the animatronics to take the endoskeletons outside of their exoskeletons. One moment, please. This lecture is sponsored by Coke Zero and Child Murder. You know, the Freddy Fazbear's company with in-game is associated with child murder, and so is the Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola. We've murdered children to get you this. Enjoy the tears. Salty. Anyway, so all of the robots, because they can feel pain for some goddamn reason, they're like, wow, we are tortured in this facility. We should probably get out. So they scoop themselves and form one robot, Ennard, this clown motherfucker here in the corner. But they're like, robots? What? We can't walk around being a robot. People would think we look weird, and they'd be scared. We need to have a human body. So, they decide, well, how about we scoop the night guard? And then we'll get him to vor us, and then we can go out, and nobody will ever know. They'll never know. And so they do that. The ending where your character dies gets scooped. That's, excuse me. That's the real ending. There's a secret ending where you defend and you don't get scooped, but that's not canon. It's not canon at all. So you're just fucking dead. And then it's time for Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. Now, this game, we'll talk about way more in depth near the end of the lecture, because this is the most important game lore-wise, in my opinion. But to tell the story of just this game, your guy, being dude, and you've been hired to start a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria location. I do not know why you would want to, but you are. So you start this Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and oh shit, there are robots outside. Well, as part of paragraph 4 of your contract, you're supposed to let them in and salvage them. What? They're trying to murder me? Yeah, you have to let in every single fucking robot, and then, at the end of the game, the place burns down. We'll talk a lot more in depth later on. And now, it's time for Ultimate Custom Night. And originally going to be added as a secondary mode within Pizzeria Simulator, it eventually became such a big project that Scott released it on his own for free. You can download it right now. As well, you can download Pizzeria Simulator for free. They're both free. Because I didn't mention this. I should have, because it's awesome. Five Nights at Freddy's 6, one of the canon ends to the series, was Trojan horsed inside of a game because Scott Cawthon constantly puts up shitposty troll games. And we all thought that was what it was going to be, a dumb spin-off pizzeria game that has the canonical end for the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. Ultimate Custom Night takes place after the end. It's said that the game is non-canon, but there are hints within the game that this is the eternal punishment for the antagonist for the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. And then we get FNaF 7, which I don't fucking care about, because it's just a retread of all the other games, gameplay-wise, but in VR now. There's some weird fucking guy, and they wants to body swap, then you lock him behind a door. It also maybe decanonizes the rest of the series, so fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, Five Nights at Freddy's VR. Fuck you. Anyway, it's question time. That's a big, dummy, thick baby stupid that doesn't understand and doesn't ask questions. Don't be like this dumb baby. I will now take questions. So our first question is from Jenna. When does Freddy go to space? I know that you asked that jokingly. However, one of the games being worked on right now is Five Nights at Freddy's 53 Freddy's in Space. That was a shitpost game within FNaF world that is being turned into a real game, as far as I know. So yes, Freddy will be going to space sometime soon. Honestly, I think it'll probably be good. It should be I really hope that the follow up is Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Pat gives a copy of Five Nights at Freddy's to the Pope. Okay. So, here's a question from Looking for Crab for trade 1312 Crab Gangs. Hey, Professor, you little piss baby. You think you're so fucking cool, huh? You think you're so fucking tough. You talk a lot of big game for someone who with such a small truck. Look at those arms. Your arms look so fucking cute. They look like little cigarettes. I bet I could smoke you. I could roast you, and then you text me that you love it, and then I'd fucking ghost you. Um, no! Why would you say that? Why would you say that about me? Why? Why would you say that? It's so mean. It's so mean. It's so mean. Why would you? Why would you do that? Why would you? Anyway, our next question. Actually, it's from a Discord user, Crab. Hey, Discord user, LF Crab FT1312 GANGS. That's not very nice. I agree. Thank you. Uh, Comment from Crab Game Cop Killer. Excited for Persona 6. Question from Crab Gang Leader. How good is the pizza in this game? It's free pizza. You can determine quality from there. I did! Question from Discord user Crab Gang Jock, boy with a C. Professor, very important question. Who is, according to science, the hottest animatronic? Now, furry fan artists would have you believe Foxy, because furries like foxes. However, the games themselves sort of have, if you might remember, you see all of this. None of this is fan art. You see breasts, you see humanoid animatronics. These, yeah, this is all canon art. This is an Ultimate Custom Night. Like, when you get a high score, you will see cutscenes, and some of those cutscenes are about Chica. That's Chica, and she wants to date boys, and so she talks about dating boys, and it's specifically anime-esque, and it's weird. It's weird. So the game thinks that Chica is the hottest animatronic. Yes, Daniel. Yes. For those of you Yes. Also, those scenes for those of you watching the recording, uh we've had two separate students confirm that these are in fact real screenshots from the games. In fact, the cutscenes that include Chica as a schoolgirl lusting after boys is supposed to be a parallel to how Purple Guy lusts after killing children. Canon. Also, I can explain it a little bit more. There are scenes where you can see her backpack, and well, there are pins on her backpack that represent the animatronics that Michael Afton has killed. And with all this talk of who the hottest animatronic is, I'm getting rather heated myself. Allow me a moment to take off this jacket. There we go. Anyway, uh, also, this is Funtime Chica. She will periodically uh, flash your camera with these saying, like, see, it's all about me, 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 as if to distract you, the player, with sexy animatronics. Anyway, back to questions. From Discord user Crab Gang Cop Killer, an actual question. Professor, are there two separate children biting incidents, or is the date of a singular bite disputed by historians? Good question. There are two biting incidents, the bite of 83 and the bite of 87. Uh, in fact, the bite of 87 is not portrayed, but it's generally accepted and alluded to that the victim of the bite of 87 is the initial security guard you play as in nights 1 through 5 of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Thank you. That is a very good question. All right. So, uh, are there any more questions to be had? I will take that as a no. It's time to move on. It's time to do a game theory. And talk about the series as a whole. Now, for this portion of the lecture, I'm going to be talking about specifically elements within the story that will be helpful. This lecture has been split up into thirds. This middle half is we're going to be talking about important character. We're going to be talking about important characters, and then we'll get into a chronological retelling of the entire Five Nights at Freddy's series. So, our most important characters all come from one family, the Afton family, which is William Afton, Elizabeth Afton, the kid that gets fucking pwned in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, maybe, unconfirmed, it's alluded to, and Michael Afton. It's all about family. That's what makes it so powerful. So it's time to start with the man you've been waiting for, the man behind the slaughter, William Afton, aka Purple Guy. Now, this motherfucker likes one thing, and that's one thing only, and that's killing children. He likes to kill kids. That's his thing. He is an incredibly one-dimensional character. That, you want to know what that one dimension is? Killing kids. And he dresses like a furry to do it. So is he a furry? No, he just dresses up like one. Because kids generally like animatronic mascots. Because it's the 80s. Furries aren't a well-known thing yet. So they don't really know. And then he decides to lure them over. And he kills them. Because that's what he does. He's the antagonist. So, he's also very foundational, not just for being a child murderer, but for being the co-founder of both Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and Afton Electronics, the people that created the animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Now, he does have a family. He has a son, had a daughter, and maybe had another son. That maybe is the pwned kid from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. The fandom calls him Purple Guy because for some fucking reason, whenever he shows up in game, his sprite is purple. And according to this DeviantArt fan art, he is not gay. So, he's not. Don't get any ideas, because he's not gay. He doesn't date Phone Guy. Anyway, next, time to talk about William Afton's daughter, Circus Baby / Elizabeth. Now, Circus Baby is the one of the animatronics created by William Afton. and she was created with one purpose in mind. Now, considering the motivation behind William Afton, can you guess what that motivation is? Give me one moment. I will wait while you decide to guess. Jesus fucking Christ. Your name was Circus Baby? It was almost Circus Baby. It's better than Clown Baby, I gotta say. Because that's what you are. But that's what you are now. You're a clown baby, are you not? Aren't you a clown baby? Yes, you are. Say it. Say it right now. Say that you're a clown baby. Thank you. Anyway, so Elizabeth is William Afton's daughter and gets killed by Baby. It's like I. She goes up to is like I want ice cream like a stupid fucking bitch, and then gets killed by the robot that was made to kill babies. It's an ironic name. You see, she's called Baby, but she kills babies. Anyway, so Baby is the driving force behind forming Ennard, and she is the one that tricks you during sister location to vor Ennard. And by the time Pizzeria Simulator rolls around, she wants to follow in Daddy's footsteps and kill children as well. That will be important as to why she's a dumb bitch later on. But while Elizabeth Afton may be a very important kid that William Afton has killed, there is one kid that he killed that is way more important than all of the rest. It's time to talk about one of the most important characters in all of the franchise. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, between deaths, there's a possibility to get death mini-games, including this one, Take Cake to the Children, where you are playing as Fredbear from Fredbear's Family Diner, the pizzeria within the FNaF 4, which is the first chronologically. Now, as you are delivering cake to these children, there's one standing outside that's crying and being excluded because I guess she's like a poor bitch or something and can't afford pizza. Ha ha. This is what you get when you live in a capitalist society. You get murdered by weirdos that are purple for some goddamn reason. So this is actually William Afton's first victim. We shall refer henceforth as victim. The fuck just happened? As victim number 1. And victim number 1 becomes the puppet. Let's talk about the puppet. The puppet is the first killed, and the puppet's motivation is to protect children. I will protect all kids. She's like Cool Cat, except less creepy. And for some goddamn reason, she's supernatural. I don't know why. It's never explained. Also, she's the daughter of a character named Henry, who doesn't really show up in any of the games except for the last one, but he's important as he is the other co-founder of Afton Electronics and Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. So, after the puppet gets formed, before we skip more into the story, I just wanted to shout out this redesign of the puppet from FNAF 4's Halloween mode. It's fucking badass. It, like, for as much shit as the Five Nights at Freddy's series gets sometimes, I do think it has legitimately great horror designs. So, yes. Anyway, during another FNAF 2 minigame entitled Give Gifts, Give Life, we can see another very important Five Nights at Freddy's event happen. You see, William Afton is linked to at least 5 child murders linked to one of the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza locations. These are the 5 murders. So, these are victims number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And can you guess what happens to them? They get fucking killed. LMAO. And then Puppet decides to put them inside animatronics. And quick note. It was no coincidence that Chica was the first Minecraft animatronic to appear, because her only lore relevance is that she was the first kid to be put inside of an animatronic. The other three, like they have like Freddy's name is on it. Scott Cawthon himself has admitted to having nightmares about Bonnie. Foxy gets all the furry fan art, and Chica, yeah, she was the first, I guess. Doesn't really matter, because she doesn't really matter. None of the Fazbear 4 actually matter. And that actually extends to the other kid. There's another, right before this minigame ends and you're jump scared, there is, for a split second, a child that shows up. This child is Golden Freddy. It's time to talk about Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy has no explanation. It has no, like, real lore relevance. It's just different from the others for some fucking reason. Let's talk about Michael Afton. So Michael Afton is the character that you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. He does vor Ennard, and he hates his dad. Wants to kill his dad because his dad sent him into the sister location, and then he had to vor a robot. God, if my dad made me do that, I want to kill him too. Anyway, he might have been the bully that pwned the kid in FNaF 4. Still unconfirmed, but I generally like that idea as a way to connect FNaF 4 to the rest of the series. And after he vores Ennard, this happens. You know, because bodies that they sort of decompose when they're being possessed by robots. So yeah, he decomposes and then spits out Ennard, and that's why he and Ennard are two separate beings from a point in the story forward. Now, after this happens, it is implied that he is the main character in the Night Guards you play in, as during all of the other Five Nights at Freddy's games. I have noticed a question. Is this official art? Yes, everything you see on screen here is official. Those pixels are from cutscenes added within the custom night update of Sister Location, and the background GIF is from the ending of Sister Location. After you vor Ennard, you look at yourself in the mirror and you see purple eyes, and that's to imply that Ennard has taken control of your body. Now it's time to ask questions. If anyone has questions, now would be the time to ask. Oh God, I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to cut this part out of the recording. Yeah, you can go to the bathroom. Go right now. Go. Who's the best? Who is the best kid next door? Number three. Number three. Number three's cool. You know, it's weird. As a kid, like, number 3 was the only, like, real Asian representation that I, like, distinctly remember. Also, I like it when she fucking goes berserk. Even though it might be a bit of cliche that, oh, happy-go-lucky girl, when she gets mad, she fucking destroys everything. But I do like it. Ah, that is a very good question. So, Michael Afton survives getting possessed and just decomposes, but gets to walk around and do stuff after he squirted, Ennard out? Yes. Okay, so this is only introduced in the final game of the franchise, and I don't even bring it up because who fucking cares? But there's, okay. So within the universe of Five Nights at Freddy's, there is a element known as Remnant, and its introduction in the series retcons a whole lot of things, because instead of like stuff getting like haunted, shit just Remnant is what traps souls. It's weird. It's kind of stupid. It was added. It's part of the fucking books. It's part of these fucking things, and it's a canon immigrant. It immigrated in from the books into the normal stuff. Uh, but yeah. So apparently the scooper has puts remnant in Michael Afton's body, so he is still alive after he gets scooped. That's a very good question. Uh, are there any other questions? Okay, you can just yeah, actually typing them out would be pretty, so I can read them and put them into the edit later. This is the very first one, so like after this is done, I'll put some effort into figuring out how to record with other people's voices. The easiest way for me, well, to edit would be for everyone to record their voices separately, but I'm not going to ask you all to do that. That's a bit too much. So I'll find a way. But yeah, it'll sweet. That is going to sound like hell if I do that, but all right. Yeah, That's a good. Yeah, that is very Samuel. But yeah, let's see. Here's a question. Two questions. The first one: where in particular does it specify that Michael Afton survives the scooper? I had figured it was just entered in his skin. In the cutscene where he spits out entered, I didn't show because but after he spits out Ennard, he's just a pile of flesh on the ground because Ennard was his bones. And so then he just fucking just gets up. His body just gets up and his eyes start glowing. Even though he has no bones anymore, he is a boneless man who is somehow able to walk. But yeah, that is kind of whack. Uh, this story, the entire Five Nights at Freddy's story is particularly whack. There's a lot uh, because uh, the games were never supposed to have a consistent narrative. It's not like recent example, The Last of Us 2. They made the game with the narrative in mind, so everything that happens in that game is part of the narrative. But that's not the way it happened for the FNaF series of games. Uh, Everything is just fucking improv, made up on the spot, retconned. Uh, I didn't mention this, but one of the big retcons with Golden Freddy specifically is that Golden Freddy is supposed to have moved on uh, before the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and is no longer possessing the Golden Freddy suit. However, it's implied in Ultimate Custom Night that whatever is keeping William Afton in hell having to fight 50 animatronics every night is Golden Freddy. It's kind it this it's it, again, I'm not sharing this story because it's a good story. I'm sharing this story to spite Matthew Patrick. And the second question: did the puppet animatronic come before Chica? Uh, the puppet animatronic. The puppet animatronic. Yeah, it's just a right. It's not even an animatronic. It's just referred to as such because it's one of the enemies in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So it's just easier to say animatronics and the puppet. But yes, the first one to view all the events should be the puppet because it's the puppet that puts the spirit of the child into the Chica animatronic. Yes, yeah. So that's how it works. More questions. Okay, cool. And again, if y'all have any questions, having a hard time understanding anything, yes. And hopefully things will make more sense in this next part, because the next part is just a straight retelling of all the events in the series in chronological order. Okay. So that seems to be all the questions. Uh, is Ennard's name supposed to sound like innards? Why are you asking that in the lecture hall instead of the talking stick? Yeah, that's the joke. I'm not mad. It's just I've been specifically looking. Professor, would you rather play every single game through to completion with only breaks for bathrooms and food, or to read Homestuck? Uh, Homestuck, of course, under the same conditions. That's a difficult question because while I don't know a lot about Homestuck, uh, God damn it, Griffin! Well, I don't know a lot about Homestuck. I do know one thing about Homestuck, and that there was a 3-year pause in updates called the Gigapause, and if uh, uh, and I don't want to have to wait for 3 years within the situation that you've asked me to wait. I'm assuming that reading Homestuck means waiting for things, and yes, a Homestuck lecture that is that's inevitable. Uh, Both Crab Gang Jockboy and Crab Gang Cop Killer asked me what is Homestuck, and for that you are both getting detention. I am sorry. We are not doing. I no. No, I refuse. I am not going to talk about Homestuck. You know, I you know what? I'll prepare a fucking lecture on Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, but I'm not going to fucking touch Homestuck. No. I fuck. I don't care if you have a date. You're getting detention. You piece of shit. You're getting a demerit. You, you fucking, you fucking mention Homestuck to me one more time. I will have you expelled from this school. I will. I don't know if I can ban you because you're server administrator, but I don't. I will come to your house and I will download Danganronpa on your phone and force you to play it. That's what detention is. Yes. Laura, is the way you're typing having to do with Homestuck? Because I will give you a demerit as well. Don't. No. We're talking about Five Nights at. We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. We're not going to bring in Homestuck. Fucking. I don't know why. I don't know. I was going to say something. I forget what I was initially going to say. But I as I put the microphone to my mouth, I can tell you the exact thought process that I was having. Homestuck has fan base similarities to Undertale. Sans was earlier in the lecture, making out with Sans. Say making out with Sans. That would be funny to say. So, making out with Sans. At Professor, what's the puppet's class spec? Well, yeah. Uh, yeah. So the puppet, when playing Borderlands 3, likes to play as the Gunzerker class. It likes, specifically when playing Borderlands 2, likes to play as the Gunzerker. The ability to dual wield any weapon together is great, and skills like Sexual Tyrannosaurus are really great for tanking. Uh, how's that for an answer? We should, Professor, have you ever been in a bar fight? That's an odd question to ask. I've listened to the Your Favorite Martian song Robot Bar Fight multiple times when I was a child. I can say that much. I should do a lecture on an oral history of the rise and fall of Ray William Johnson. I'll make it. The band has so little to it that you need to put it in the context of Ray William Johnson. It'll be better than that fucking Quentin reviews video on Ray William Johnson. Cause I won't make it boring as fuck. In case people don't know, I don't like Quentin reviews. His videos are boring. He's. I have a lot of thoughts on Quentin reviews. Uh, I, I'll keep it brief. it seems that he has interesting topics, but he thinks that he is interesting enough to have an aspect of personality to the documentary, like it was an internet historian video instead of like a down the rabbit hole video. But he does no. I don't think he's funny. He's boring. Anyway, it's time to fucking talk about FNaF again. Yes, I am continuing the lecture. We've taken a nice 10-minute break. So this is we're going to be doing a chronological retelling of the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, the important thing is that the shit is made up as it goes along. FNaF 1 is irrelevant to the lore. FNaF 2, it explains that animatronics are possessed by kids and how they are, and introduces the series antagonist. In FNaF 3, the antagonist dies, the children move on, and it ends the series. In FNaF 4, there's no real connection to the overall lore, and it's also the final chapter, so it ends the series. Sister Location is a spin-off that introduces the protagonist of the whole series, so I guess it wasn't, and also I guess this isn't the end of the series, and FNaF 6 is the end of the series. Until FNaF 7 came out, and oh hey, none of that fucking matters, because this is all decanonized! Or maybe not. I don't know if it's actually decanonized. You can make an argument that it's not actually decanonized, but I'm not going to get into the specifics of that right now. Anyway, so here's the time. So the easiest way to like describe the timeline of Five Nights at Freddy's chronologically is to go by what Freddy Fazbear is active at the time. Like, because as the story goes on, the corporation of Freddy Fazbear changes. For instance, we go from Fredbear's Family Diner to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to a different Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to Fazbear's Fright, and then the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria that you run in FNaF 6. And somewhere in that timeline is Circus Baby Pizza. We don't have a specific date when it takes place. Our best guess is that it takes place sometime after FNaF 2, but before FNaF 3. That's just my opinion. Personally, I think it happens even before FNaF 2, because it makes a lot of sense to me, because the custom night security guard from FNaF 2 gets kicked out for being a smelly bitch, and decomposed corpses are very smelly, i.e. Michael Afton. Yes. Is there a question? We're waiting for it. Is this a... I don't... I... You can just... You can just speak. I can't hear you. Dan. Dan's not muted. We'll save the question until after, because this is the final stretch. This is the final stretch of the lecture, and it would be a shame if we were to have interruptions right now. So it's time to tell the story chronologically. Let's go do the Mario. And if you at home are not doing the Mario while doing this, detention. So throughout the story, there's 3 concurrent narratives that are interwoven. The story of the Aftons, the story of the animatronics, and the story of the pizzeria itself. And they're all connected, but it's it's bad guys, good guys, and setting as the story moves forward. So we're going to start with Fredbear's Family Diner in FNaF 4. It establishes our first Freddy Fazbear's Fredbear's Family Diner. It's the start of the Freddy Fazbear Corporation. We see Purple Guy working at the diner in a very quick split-second cameo. The child that you play as in-game might be Purple Guy's kid, and the first child is killed. Oh no. The first child is killed at Fredbear's Family Diner to become the puppet. Can you all hear me? Okay. Dan cannot. Anyway, so Circus Baby. I'm going to put it right here because it's just easier to do it right here. So after Fazbear's Pizzeria closed, Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental was created to fill the void. The animatronics were created by both William and Henry, and Michael gets a job there to find his sister on the orders of his father, Purple Guy. He ends up getting Scoop. His body decomposes while being possessed by Ennard, and Ennard leaves his body and at some point separates from Circus Baby. Now, then we get FNaF 2. Now, FNaF 2 is Purple Guy is working at the brand new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He moves to the day shift and possibly tampers with the predator protection put inside of the toy animatronics from FNaF 2. You see, after the child murder at Fredbear's Family Diner, the Fazbear Corporation decided we should probably try to stop child murders from happening at our location. So, let's outfit them with a database of predators. And for some reason, the animatronics attack you. So, it's possible that he tampered with them because I don't know. Maybe they think that you're a Purple Guy? I don't know. So Purple Guy at this location kills 5 more kids using the Spring Bonnie suit, which is a Springtrap suit that will eventually become Springtrap later on in the series. The night guard from the first 5 nights is moved to the day shift, where the bite of 87 happens and the pizzeria closes down. I would like to note there is a mistake on this slide. The Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is active in 1987 instead of 1983. I was mixing it up with FNaF 4. I apologize. Which takes us to the first game, Five Nights at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which takes place sometime in the 90s based on how much you get paid. Now, the toy animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy from the previous location have been destroyed and were used to fix the withered animatronics that create the Fazbear 4. So the pizzeria reopens, but it closes soon after because the place smells really bad. And from this point on, this is all flashbacks told within FNaF 3, but make most sense being here within this retelling. So the Purple Guy returns to the closed Five Nights at to the closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to destroy the animatronics because it's a theory that he hid the bodies of the children, because the bodies were never found, inside the animatronics themselves. And so he destroys them, and it releases the ghost children. The ghost children chase him into the Spring Bonnie suit, and because the Spring Lock animatronic suits are incredibly dangerous, the Spring Locks close in on him, and he gets fucking crushed. And afterwards, the ghost children are finally able to move on and stop haunting the Fazbear animatronics. And then we get Fazbear's Fright. So the name is forever linked. The Fazbear name is forever linked to child murder. So a horror attraction based on the Fazbear name is established, and they end up finding one of the original animatronics in a locked room in the back that is completely sealed off. And oh shit, it's Purple Guy, and inside the Spring Bonnie suit, turning him into Springtrap. So Michael burns the place down at the end, and everything that survives the fire gets auctioned off, including Springtrap himself, who somehow fucking just survives the fire, which makes no sense lore-wise at all. But then we get to the final game of the franchise, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. So it's meant to tie up all the loose ends in the story and end it in a clean package. The pizzeria is run by William Afton's old co-conspirator. He did not know about the murders, but now he feels incredibly guilty that his actions have led to the murders of children. And his son, Michael Afton. So after the events of FNaF 3, there are only 4 animatronics left. Baby and Ennard, who have split from each other, Springtrap, and an animatronic known as Lefty, who was created by Henry Afton to find the puppet and catch it. So we have our we have all 6 remaining characters in the story: Henry, Michael, William, the puppet, Ennard, who has taken the form of Molten Freddy, as all the other AIs within Ennard have died out, excluding the Funtime Freddy personality, as well as Circus Baby. So the entire by the end of the game, you've let all the animatronics in, and Baby says, "You stupid fucking bitch! You're fucking dumb." And then Henry goes, "Ah, but it is you who are fucking dumb because I fucking trapped you in here. You thought because it's a pizzeria, they saw an ad that a new Freddy Fazbear's was opening. It's like, oh, sick, kids to murder." However, it was the entire building is a labyrinth that the animatronics were let loose in because and they were never actually able to get to the children, and they were just running around for days straight trying to kill children, and in the case of the puppet, trying to help the children. So because all the characters that are left in the story are in this building, Henry's like, it's time to end this fucking goddamn story. And he lights the bitch on fire. And Henry's in the building, Michael's in the building, Elizabeth and the puppet pass on, Molten Freddy dies, William goes to hell. And because apparently, remember earlier when I mentioned Remnant, the substance that allows spirits to inhabit the animatronics? Apparently it breaks down at high temperatures, which makes me question how the fuck did Springtrap survive the fire at Five Nights at Fazbear's Fright, but it's a plot hole. There are many in this series. And, that's the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. This entire portion, this entire telling the story chronologically, took me about 20 minutes. It has taken MatPat about 30 videos. And at the end of all things, I want to read a quote from one of the animatronics in Ultimate Custom Night, Mr. Hippo. His whole thing is that after he kills you, he forces you to listen to a 3-minute unskippable monologue that is that goes fucking nowhere and isn't interesting at all. It's great, and if you try to skip it, he'll start his story again. So here's the quote. Orville, I have a story to tell you. And Orville looked at me, kind of odd, and said, "What is it about?" I said to him, "Not every story has to be about something, Orville. Sometimes a person just wants to talk. Why does everything have to be a story?" I said to him. And he said to me, "What's the significance of the story?" And I said to him, "Orville, not every story has to have significance, Sometimes a story is just a story. You try to read into every little thing and find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just drive yourself crazy." And that's probably Scott Cawthon talking to MatPat. Just tell him to stop. Because I want him to stop, and that's how I'm going to read into that. And because I have purchased this book, Five Nights at Freddy's The Silver Eyes, written by Scott Cawthon, I wanted to take a quick second to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's books, because they're not canon to the games, but they're still a Five Nights at Freddy's story, all in the same. Fuck these books, they goddamn suck. End of lecture. You feel free to talk now. I'm ending the recording.